Nothing quite like getting the whole crew together and enjoying the ride. Welcome back, guys. It is your boy Broncos Guru, and it is this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. Our first story to make Boating News of the Week is a brief reminder to always double check everything. You would be surprised how many of these types of incidents I've found from this past weekend. We're only going to highlight a few in this week's episode, but this one right here happened at the Peachtree Boat Landing in South Carolina. Here, a father and son began to back their boat down the ramp, and when they went to start the motors, the engines actually exploded and caught on fire. Always be sure to double check your boat's well ventilated, especially after refueling, and if your boat's equipped with a blower, always make sure to run it before trying to start the motors. These two did get away with some pretty severe burns, but both did survive. Our next item to make the Boating News of the Week is nothing but pure genius. Over on Lake Lewis in Alabama, this is Preston Turner catching these images right here of this boat on fire that's drifted off the dock. Right here you also see there's another boat down at the ramp right in front of it, and these guys are about to pull a pure genius move on attempting to get this fire under control before the fire department arrives. This does appear to be emergency services here, it does appear to be a police boat, so this isn't amateurs down there, and after watching these images, it definitely doesn't appear that this is their first time ever doing this either.
Exposures. I called it.
Wow.
They're using
their motor.
They're using the props.
That's what Preston said they were going to do. There's the fire truck.
That surely is one pretty slick way to go ahead and get a fire under control before the fire department gets there. Our next incident Make the Boating News is going to tell us why we always need to wear the darn kill switch. Right here you're going to see this boat going out of control, and that's because there is nobody operating the vessel. There were 4 people on board this boat. It was reported they were doing some erratic maneuvers, and all 4 of them were tossed into the water, and they were not wearing a kill switch. This is up in Massachusetts, and unfortunately things didn't go so well here. This boat does not wind up being stopped until it winds up lodged in another houseboat, and unfortunately there were some injuries involved in this, as the operator of the vessel actually got run over by the boat as it was circling around. He did survive the initial event and has been sent to an ICU unit. Our next event to be featured on Boating News of the Week is going to take us up to Ontario, Canada and Lake Simcoe, where a group of people decided they were going to go out and enjoy a nice day on the water when all of a sudden a fire broke out on their boat. Fortunately, as you can see here, there were a bunch of Good Samaritan vessels around, and they were able to pull this family out of the water and get everybody back to safety. But the boat that was pulling everybody in had engine trouble. As you can see here, they're holding onto that jet ski to get pulled away from the boat that was on fire. The people who were on that vessel that are on fire were very fortunate here. All 5 of them were able to quickly get off that boat and into the water, and nobody was injured, and they were also really lucky that there was plenty of Good Samaritan vessels around to help assist getting them off the water. Our next story on Boating News of the Week shows us that it always pays to be in the right place at the right time, kind of like these British Columbia ferries were in the Strait of Georgia. They received a call that a 21-foot vessel had overturned in the Strait of Georgia, and the ferries diverted from their normal path and actually began helping with the search and rescue mission. The ferries actually got all the passengers as well involved and let them know what they were looking for, and they had the passengers doing lookout, and fortunate for them, the passengers actually spotted this vessel. Coordinates were then turned over to the Canadian Coast Guard, who finished the rescue, but these passengers had a pretty good story as why they were late getting home. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boating News of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening on your waterways, be sure to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram and let me know, and you might see your stories over here, just like Preston Turner, Keith Hurst, and Victoria Larini did this week. And if you haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on that subscribe button. If not, we're coming to steal your drain plug.